Welcome to Bible in a Year with Scott Purcell. I'm so glad you're joining me. This is a daily reading of portions of the Bible, following a plan that will include the entire Bible in a year. And now, let's open the book and begin our readings. This is the reading for day 84. If your reading is aligned with the calendar year in a non-leap year, this is for March 25th, or in a leap year for March 24th. The Old Testament reading is from Numbers 19, Numbers 20, and the first 3 verses of Numbers 21. Numbers 19:1. And Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the decree of the law that Yahweh has commanded, saying, Speak to the Israelites, and let them take to you a red heifer without a physical defect, on which a yoke has not been placed. And you will give it to Eleazar the priest, and it will be brought out to a place outside the camp, and it will be slaughtered in his presence. Then Eleazar the priest will take some of its blood on his finger, and spatter it toward the mouth of the tent of assembly 7 times. The heifer will be burned in his sight, its skin, its meat, and its blood, in addition to its offal, will burn. The priest will take cedar wood, hyssop, and crimson thread, and he will throw them in the midst of the burning heifer. The priest will wash his garments and his body in the water, and afterward he will come to the camp. The priest will be unclean until the evening. The one who burns it will wash his garments and his body in water. He will be unclean until the evening. A clean man will gather the ashes of the heifer, and he will put them in a clean place outside the camp. It will be for the community of the Israelites as a requirement for waters of impurity. It is a purification offering. The one who gathers the ashes of the heifer will wash his garments. He will be unclean until evening. It will be an eternal decree for the Israelites and for one who dwells as an alien in their midst. The one who touches a corpse of any person will be unclean for 7 days. He will purify himself on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he will be clean. If he does not purify himself on the 3rd day, he will not be clean on the 7th day. Anyone who touches a corpse, the person of a human being who died, and does not purify himself, defiles the tabernacle of Yahweh, and that person will be cut off from Israel because the waters of impurity were not sprinkled on him. He will still be unclean, and uncleanness is on him. This is the law of a person who dies in a tent. Everyone who comes into the tent, and all who are in the tent, will be unclean 7 days. Every container that is opened and that does not have a lid cord on it is unclean. Anyone in the open field who touches one who has been slain, or a corpse, or a bone of a person, or a burial site, he will be unclean for 7 days. For the unclean person they will take from the powder of the burnt purification offering, and they will put running water into a container. A clean person will take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent, and on all the objects and persons who were there, and on one who touched the bone, or the one slain, or the dead, or the burial site. The clean person will spatter the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day he will purify him, and he will wash his garments, and he will bathe in the waters, and in the evening he will be clean. But the man who is unclean and does not purify himself, that person will be cut off from the midst of the assembly, because he defiled the sanctuary of Yahweh. The water of impurity was not sprinkled on him. He is unclean. It will be an eternal decree for them. The one who spatters the waters of impurity will wash his garments, and the one who touches the waters of impurity will be unclean until the evening. Anything that the unclean person touches will be unclean, and the person who touches it will be unclean until the evening. Numbers 20. Then the entire community of the Israelites came to the desert of Zin on the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh. Miriam died and was buried there. There was no water for the community, and they were gathered before Moses and Aaron. And the people quarreled with Moses and spoke, saying, "If only we died when our brothers were dying before Yahweh. Why have you brought the assembly of Yahweh, us and our livestock, into this desert to die here? Why have you brought us from Egypt to bring us to this bad place? It is not a place of seed or figs or vines or pomegranate trees, and there is not water to drink." And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the doorway of the tent of assembly. They fell on their faces, and the glory of Yahweh appeared to them. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the staff and summon the community, you and Aaron your brother, and speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will give water. Bring out for them water from the rock, and let the community and their livestock drink." So Moses took the staff from before Yahweh, just as he commanded him, and Moses and Aaron summoned the assembly to the presence of the rock. And he said to them, "Please listen, you rebels. Can we bring out water for you from this rock?" Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his staff twice, and abundant water went out, and the community and their livestock drank. But Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you have not trusted in me to regard me as holy in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this assembly into the land that I have given to them." Those were the waters of Meribah, where the Israelites quarreled with Yahweh, and he showed himself holy among them. From Kadesh, Moses sent messengers to the king of Edom. "Thus your brother Israel has said, you know all the hardship that has found us. Our ancestors went down to Egypt, and we lived in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians mistreated us and our ancestors. Then we cried to Yahweh, and he heard our voice. He sent an angel and brought us out from Egypt. And look, we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your territory. Please let us go through your land. We will not go through a field or vineyard, and we will not drink water from a well. We will go along the road of the king. We will not turn aside right or left until we have gone through your territory." Then Edom said to him, "You will not pass through us, lest we will go out to meet you with the sword." The Israelites said to him, "We will go up on the main road, and if we and our livestock drink your water, we will pay for it. It is only a small matter. Let us pass through on our feet." But he said, "You will not go through." And Edom went out to meet them with a large army and a strong hand. So Edom refused to give Israel passage through his territory, and Israel turned aside from him. And they set out from Kadesh. The Israelites, the whole community, came to Mount Hor. Yahweh said to Moses and to Aaron on Mount Hor, on the boundary of the land of Edom, saying, "Let Aaron be gathered to his people. He will not come into the land that I have given to the Israelites, because you rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and take them up Mount Hor. Strip off Aaron's garments, and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron will be gathered to his people, and he will die there." So Moses did just as Yahweh commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor before the eyes of all the community. And Moses stripped off Aaron's garments and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron died there on the top of the mountain, and Moses and Eleazar went down from the mountain. All the community saw that Aaron died, so all the house of Israel wept for Aaron 30 days. Numbers 21. The Canaanite king of Arad, who was dwelling in the Negev, heard that Israel came along the way of Atharim. He fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Israel made a vow to Yahweh, and they said, "If you will surely give this people into our hand, then we will destroy their cities." Yahweh heard the voice of Israel. He gave them the Canaanites, and they destroyed them and their cities. They called the name of the place Hormah. The New Testament reading is from Luke 5:33 through Luke 6, verse 11. Luke 5:33. And they said to him, "The disciples of John fast often and make prayers, likewise also the disciples of the Pharisees. But yours are eating and drinking." So he said to them, "You are not able to make the bridegroom's attendants fast as long as the bridegroom is with them, are you? But days will come, and when the bridegroom is taken away from them, then they will fast in those days." And he also told a parable to them. "No one tears a patch from a new garment and puts it on an old garment. Otherwise, he will have torn the new also, and the old will not match the patch that is from the new. And no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the new wine will burst the wineskins, and it will be spilled, and the wineskins will be destroyed. But new wine must be put into new wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, wants new, because he says the old is just fine." Luke chapter 6. Now it happened that on a Sabbath he went through the grain fields, and his disciples were picking and eating the heads of grain, rubbing them in their hands. But some of the Pharisees said, "Why are you doing what is not permitted on the Sabbath?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Have you not read this, what David did when he and those who were with him were hungry? How he entered into the house of God and took the bread of the presentation, which it is not permitted to eat except the priest alone, and ate it and gave it to those with him. And he said to them, 'The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath.' Now it happened that on another Sabbath he entered into the synagogue and was teaching, and a man was there, and his right hand was withered. So the scribes and the Pharisees were watching closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath, in order that they could find a reason to accuse him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man who had the withered hand, 'Get up and stand in the middle.' And he got up and stood there. And Jesus said to them, 'I ask you whether it is permitted on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil, to save a life or to destroy it.' And after looking around at them all, he said to him, 'Stretch out your hand.' And he did, and his hand was restored. But they were filled with fury and began discussing with one another what they might do to Jesus." The wisdom literature reading is from Proverbs chapter 8, verses 1 through 11. Proverbs 8:1. "Does not wisdom call, and understanding raise its voice? Atop the heights, beside the road, at the crossroads she stands. Beside gates, before towns, at the entrance of doors she cries out. 'To you, O people, I call, and my cry is to the children of humankind. Learn prudence, O simple ones. Fools, learn intelligence. Listen, for noble things I will speak, and upright things from the opening of my lips. My mouth will utter truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All sayings of my mouth are in righteousness. None of them are twisted and crooked. All of them are straight to him who understands, and upright to those who find knowledge. Take my teaching and not silver. May you choose knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than jewels, and all desires shall not compare with her. This concludes the reading for day 84. Thank you for listening. These daily readings are made possible by your generous support of the global outreach ministry of Scott Purcell. To partner with us and enable this work and others like it, please visit huttobible.com/give and select Go Pastor Support from the fund list. You can also sign up for ministry updates at scott-purcell.epistle.org/subscribe. Both of those links can be found in the podcast description. Thank you for helping us share God's Word.